So my brothers and sisters, I know in the last couple of weeks or days, we've been reflecting on the return of the exiles, and I just want us to stay with that instead of looking at the gospel that we have. So one of the most fascinating things when you visit the Mediterranean lands, such as Greece or Italy or Egypt and Turkey, are the many historical sites of castles and temples and cities that now lie in ruins. There are very many of those. And each of those sites tell a story of the golden age, when these places were sites of glamour and wealth and influence. But now, yet in their current state, they tell of a past, an end, and even a death, that, this is all ended, this is all gone. In our first reading today from the book of the prophet Haggai, we continue reflecting on the return of the Israelites from the exile in Babylon. They found the influential city and their land and the magnificent temple in Jerusalem all sort of had fallen apart. Everything had fallen apart while they were in exile. And before them stood this depressing state of hopelessness when they looked at what had happened to their city and their land, but especially the temple that King Solomon spent so much on building. So the Lord, through the prophet Haggai, gives them a message of encouragement and hope amidst everything that he was seeing. And he opens with this question: who among you saw this house in its former glory? Who among you saw this house in its former glory? And he adds on that, now you take courage. I'm with you. Fear not. I will shake all the nations so that the treasures of all the nations shall come in, and I will fill this house with the glory again. The latter glory of this house shall be greater than the glory, the former glory of this place. And those very beautiful words of hope and encouragement and promise, in a nutshell, the Lord said, I will rebuild, I will restore this place, no matter how bad everything had fallen apart. In fact, he said, what he will rebuild will supersede what he had seen in the past. Wow. So he's going even to dial it even a little bit higher than what he had seen before. So the latter splendor will be greater than the former that they had seen in the past. My brothers and sisters, the temple that is being written about is a representation of our lives, our homes, our families, our communities, or even our institutions that we care so much about. All these aspects of our world can go through a period of exceptional success and glory. And then somewhere at some point, they may experience a decline or a fall or a crisis. They can basically lie in ruins, and we wonder whether anything will ever become of them again. So the words that the Lord addressed to the Israelites through the prophet Haggai are the words that are also being addressed to each one of us. The Lord gives us hope and assures us that he's capable of rebuilding something new or restoring what has fallen apart to levels that will even supersede what we have seen in the past. So these are the words that we have here, that we've heard here, that the latter splendor shall be greater than the former. We have seen institutions and relationships and spiritual lives basically fall apart. And in our estimation, sometimes we may not envision anything new coming out of them anymore. If it was a family relationship or a friendship, we may write it off as simply beyond repair. Or if it is an institution that we valued so much, we may count it as simply irredeemable. Well, today the Lord is reminding us never to underestimate what he can do. Never underestimate what he can do. So the reflection question that we have here is this: is there an aspect of our life, our world, where we long to see renewal or restoration? Is it in our spiritual life? our family life, our friendships, our career, our church, our community, or even in our country? What would we like to see the Lord rebuild anew? So may we, in this Mass today, ask the Lord to renew our confidence in Him. If we don't have confidence, then we can't really take on these promises. May we ask His grace to renew, to heal, and also to restore our world. Amen.
Amen.